Alright, this is $3 billion opportunities for using AI that I don't think are being applied right now. But anybody that figures this out will have it made in the shade. So, first, material science, specifically the periodic table of the elements. Why is there not an AI programmed with all the different periodic table elements, all the parameters from heat, from cold, from pressure, from um, kinetic, uh, all the different variances, all the different variables, all the different interactions, all the different uh, valences, uh, the application of electricity under what uh, voltage, what um, are the interactions with decay, with specifically atomic decay from other materials, all the different, basically all the different known rules of the game for the periodic table needs to be put into an AI, and that AI needs to have uh, everything. We're talking gravity, we're talking just about anything that you could think of, plus whatever you count. The AI needs to know all the different rules of the game, of the elements, how they operate. It would be a virtual system based on reality. Um, and then the AI would be able to query the users, hey, I need to know more about this, or, what are some further authenticators for this certain scenario. Um, but it'd also be able to run virtual tests. There was a lot of talk of the nuclear weapons program, how the test ban treaty, how they can't uh, actively test the real McCoy, so they'd have computer models. Well, there's nothing stopping someone from taking a computer model of the periodic table of elements and using that as a working model to design new materials. And maybe they're already doing this. I just don't see any talk of it. But the other side of it is, why not have like a game board, almost like a recipe maker, or how would I explain it? So you go to your kitchen, you have ingredients. Well, why not have like a virtual kitchen with a periodic table as a learning tool? So you could say, hey, I want to mix some gold with some mercury. What's going to happen? And it would show you virtually what the interactions would be. It'd be able to zoom in and show the subatomic uh, interrelations of all the different capabilities, and under what temperature, under what voltages, and under what gravity, and all this. So basically, it would be a predictive model, an interactive model, a research tool, and it would take a lot of the hard, the expense and things. Once you had this, it could update itself. You could input new materials that it itself found, and find those interactions, all within a modular, easily accessed system. And then you'd have it work on itself, and find new materials, new interactions for science, for medical, for quality of life, just about anything. There might be obviously nefarious reasons we'd do that too, um, a new rat poison, or even worse for whatever. But um, yeah, but that needs to be done. Okay, you get on that, you eggheads. Okay, so this one popped in my head as I was driving. The second one. So I don't know how much experience you have with old archaic books. Um, we're talking everything from those papyruses to the Greek rolls to the whatever. There needs to be an AI with all the input data from all these different ancient books with all these different crazy ass languages, because right now you got to basically have someone translate it for you, or you have to have years of knowledge with dead languages and all kinds of inhibitors, limits. But there's no reason. This stuff's been way out of copyright, obviously. Get all that ancient knowledge, get it all of it, and put it in a compendium that an AI can access. And similar to what I was just saying about the periodic table of the elements, there is technology and knowledge within these old texts, these old grimoires, all this. And yeah, there is some metaphysical, what do you call, parameters there. Why not teach a AI along those lines? That, for example, the Book of the Dead, the Egyptians had. Why can't I talk to an AI and say, hey, what the hell's going on here? What are the rules of the afterlife and stuff as presented by this book? And then what are these little figures doing? What do these hieroglyphs mean? Translate this for me. And it wasn't just a storybook. It was a functional recipe of some kind. And that's just one. That's a well-known example. But there's other books, and these ancient cultures, the Aztecs, their codexes and things. There's stuff going on there. A lot of it's pretty dark stuff, but there ought to be a way to teach this all into an AI, and then similar to what I was just saying about the periodic table. Hey, what inferences, what variances, what combinations, what output can you have combining all these ancient knowledge, texts and things like that, and that we have? What can you come out with? Like, for the superstitious folks, hey, I want on this certain day what's going to happen according to astrology, or what's going to happen according to my horoscope, or what's going to happen according to the zodiac, or the Chinese mythology, or you could have an abstract with everything from ancient times to present times, all that mythological, astrological, pseudoscience, all that. But you scientifically examine the pseudoscience and see what it's only got to be 51% or more accurate to have a trend analysis using AI to figure things out. And there's no reason why that can't be done. That's a billion-dollar industry. Get all that all figured out, and then there's a single source AI guru slash wizard slash whatever you want to call it that has all that, and you can say, okay, this is what I need. What's the date for this? Or what ancient knowledge could this be related to in accordance with this and that to find the outcome of which I desire, and such like that. I don't think there's nothing like that yet. But you could also combine the two things, the ancient knowledge with the modern science of the periodic table. And then you get into things like the alchemy and things like that, where you're changing one element to another. And whether there's any truth to that, an AI would be able to figure it out by knowing all that knowledge, versus a human being that's supposed to learn all this. I mean, we don't have time for that, okay? Get real. What's the last thing I want to say? Well, I really didn't have a third one, but I'm predicating on the first two to come up with a third. So, okay, for example, okay, we're all looking for fusion power and whatnot. Okay, well, look, we got fusion power ready. It's called El Sol, or the sun. So, okay, so how do we get that power? We need solar voltaics. Okay, so why not have an AI system that calculates according to the trajectory of the Earth, in accordance with the set path of the planets, and even having things calculated like solar wind, solar storms, and things like that. There ought to be a way to have an AI tell you, hey, according to where you are from the equator, on the planet Earth, or terra firma, what do you want to call it, you need to build using all the current technology of what we have for solar, and you obviously have material science from the first point, design better solar panels and things like that, and better batteries. But there's certain parts on this earth which I haven't seen people using AI to figure out. Certain parts of this earth which are better for solar power. We're talking more sunlight hours, less overcast days. Like right now, it's overcast as hell. It's been like that for weeks. This is a horrible place. Get that figured out, and then use it as a fusion power initiative. Yeah, it's long distance fusion power, but get it to where you can get more sunlight hours. Okay, use the AI. I was looking around in some old Soviet Union research about having solar powered satellites, and they'd float above the Earth and grab solar power and beam it down. That's a new development now. That's another thing AI can work on. So anyway, so there's $3 billion uses for AI. Just want to get that out there. I gotta go back to my wage labor job here. So take care, and thanks for subscribing to Military Industrial Museum.